Hey there, Alex here. This is the new iPhone 12, and at this point, there are probably hundreds or thousands of reviews on the phone already, so I'll try to keep this video as short as I can to save all of us some time. First of all, this is probably my new favorite iPhone design, just slightly ahead of the iPhone 5S, and it's probably not hard to guess why. Even though the 12 Pro looks similar, I still prefer the matte aluminum frame and cleaner looking camera array. Anyway, I find that the flatter design gives me a better grip compared to the rounder iPhone 11. Combine that with the thinner bezels and much lower weight, the iPhone 12 feels a lot easier to use one-handed. The display is now a completely flat piece of glass as well, so content looks nicer to me and it's easier to get screen protectors for the phone. I know Apple says that the screen is more durable and whatnot, but glass is glass. It is an OLED panel now instead of LCD, so we get deeper blacks and better contrast. Outdoor visibility is good and color reproduction is excellent. There is no high refresh rate for this display, but it's not a deal breaker for me since the majority of the content that I consume on my phone doesn't really require a higher refresh rate. Talking about content consumption, the iPhone 12 stereo speakers sounds great. They are able to get really loud and have good clarity. In terms of performance, it's great as expected from the latest Apple chipset. I'm not doing anything super intensive on my phone, so I don't really feel the speed increase over its predecessor, but I'm sure this extra headroom will come in handy a few years down the road. I noticed that when playing Genshin Impact at the highest graphic settings, the phone does heat up very quickly, which is strange because I have no issues with extended sessions on Mobile Legends or COD Mobile, so maybe there is a bug somewhere. iOS 14 is still iOS. It works great with macOS, it has a ton of useful features built in, great privacy controls and whatnot. If you like iOS, this is the most customizable version of it, but it's still not going to give you as much control as Android. For example, it's nice that I can now change the default mail and browser app, but that's about it. I'm still stuck with Apple Maps. Battery life is decent, but not as good as the iPhone 11. I could still get a day of use out of the phone pretty easily, but if you have 5G access, play more games, or use the camera a lot, you probably won't be able to get a full day of use. If you are interested, I kept track of the battery drain while using the phone, so you can pause the video if you want a bit of extra info. As you know, the iPhone 12 doesn't come with any charger in the box. It's not really a big deal for me since I normally charge my phones using my Mac Mini, and for the iPhone 12, it takes about 2 hours for a full charge. But if you really need fast charging, it does support up to 20 watt if you have the right adapter. It supports wireless charging, and I know Apple is making a big deal out of their new MagSafe accessory, but wireless charging is still not going to be as efficient as wired charging for now, and heat is probably going to be an issue for some folks. In terms of camera performance, it's good, but not really a massive upgrade over the iPhone 11 to me. I do see slightly better details if I pixel peep, and they seem a bit more willing to pump up the saturation, but in terms of the white balance in daytime shots and consistency of image processing, I think Pixel devices still have a slight edge here. But for nighttime shots, when the iPhone 12 doesn't mess up, I do prefer their style of image processing and the shorter exposure time for night mode. We can now use night mode on all the cameras as well, which means slightly better looking selfies and ultra wide angle shots in low light. It would be great if Apple ported this feature back to the iPhone 11, but of course, that would be one less selling point for the iPhone 12. Video quality is still one of the best on a smartphone, and it is able to shoot HDR video at up to 30 FPS. Anyway, I'll have a link in the description below with everything I took with the phone, so you can see for yourself whether it's good enough for your needs. Overall, the iPhone 12 is a really well-rounded device, and if you need to buy a new iPhone today, this is the one that I would recommend, because if you are just comparing the 12 and 12 Pro, you're pretty much just paying 280 Singapore dollars more for a stainless steel body, slightly brighter screen, and a few more camera-related upgrades. Personally, none of those things are enticing enough to me as a regular consumer, and if you really care that much about camera performance, the 12 Pro Max is the one that actually comes with better camera hardware, and it's only $150 more than the regular 12 Pro. However, with all that said, if you're not in a hurry to upgrade, I'll still recommend waiting for the next iPhone if you can, because with everything that's going on right now, I think TouchID is pretty much a necessity unless you're always at home. Typing in a passcode is not only more time consuming, but is also less secure in public. So with rumors saying that the next iPhone will have Touch ID again, that's probably going to be a better choice. Thanks for watching this video and see you guys on the next one.